Good morning. Let me get just a little sip of my coffee. Thank you. A big shout out this morning to Rachel and Gavin and Rachel's father. Congratulations. God bless you. I'm thinking about you. Big shout out to the guys back in NI. I'm going to talk about something that may be a little controversial, maybe a little, we don't usually get into stuff like that here, but just questions that are asked and people are wondering about what to do. I think worship, when we talk about worship, worship comes from life experiences. Life experiences. The children of Israel, fresh out of Egypt, were trapped by the Red Sea and by Pharaoh's approaching army. They were almost sure that destruction was at hand. But God miraculously opened the Red Sea and they crossed on dry land. Standing on the far side, they saw the waters close and they saw the army of Pharaoh totally destroyed. When Israel saw the power of God, when Israel got a demonstration of God's strength against the Egyptians, the Bible says they feared the Lord and they put their trust in Him and in Moses, His servant. Exodus chapter 14, verse 31. You go over to Exodus chapter 15, and immediately the ballad makers or the songwriters wrote a song of celebration. It was a song of praise, it was a song of worship, and it sprang up in their hearts from a great experience. They were excited to the moon and back. And the song arose from the emotions of the day. They wanted to express their great feelings. They wanted to express their genuine feelings to God. And they didn't have to be coached. They didn't have to be coached or told to sing up or to sing loudly or anything else. The new song arose from the real experience of the power and presence of God. You see, when God is at the center of your lives, we've said this a million times, it's not about us. Their joy, their emotion, their love came from a real life experience with God. A real life experience with God. The church does not exist in a vacuum. It exists in the context of culture. And the church will naturally reflect in some ways the culture it's surrounded by. But we want to be relevant and we want to be more like Christ in everything we do. But I hear this all the time. I hear it all the time. I'm bored with church. I'm not happy. I'm bored. Here's a question. What do you do when you're not happy with church? What do you do when your church is called too legalistic? What do you do when your church is called too loose, anything goes, peace at any price? What do you do when your church is drifting, or you just don't feel like you're just not meeting, it's not meeting your need? What do you do? All around there are so many people unhappy, seekers of God, but they're disillusioned with the church. They're too this, they're too the other, they're too right, they're too far left, they're this, they're that, they're liberal, they're too... Stop. If I had to do it all over again, you know what I'd do? I'd meet in the home. Wow. what kind of sermons is he preaching? I would meet in the home. And I would get a Bible. And I would go to the Old Testament and I would study the Passover. And then I'd study the New Testament. And I'd break bread with my children and my grandchildren. And I would tell them the significance of the Lord's Supper and the significance of God's redemption, God's atonement, God's forgiveness. I'd meet in the home with my wife and my children and my grandchildren. You don't have to have all of this to get to heaven. Yeah, but I need. Stop. I would meet with my family and I would study the Bible day in and day out with my family, and I would teach them the principles and the precepts of God. I think it's a hard problem. I think when people are bored with God, I think there's an issue there. Maybe they're bored with themselves. Maybe they're not happy within their own hearts. I don't see how we can get bored with Jesus Christ. He's alive. He's relevant. He's fresh. He's new every day. How does one get bored with Jesus Christ? I think the problem might be me. Maybe it's time for me to get off the throne and let God rule my life, my heart, and everything else. One of the most scariest passages in the New Testament, Matthew chapter 7. Many will say to me on that day, look at the word, many will say unto me in that day, Lord, do we not do this? Do we not preach many wonderful sermons in your name? Do we not do this, that, or the other in your name? And I will say, depart from me. I never knew you. And then he goes on to say, whoever does the will of my Father in heaven, whoever does the will of God, is my disciple. May God bless you. May God keep you today. Thank you.